goodbye to centrism. This is an article that was in Rolling Stone. Goodbye and good riddance to centrism. This was sent from Tim Stack, Patreon backer. Tim, you've been back on the show from day one. Thank you so much. And this article was written by Matt Taibbi in Rolling Stone. And it's basically, I'll read this. Jeremy Corbyn delivers another blow to the defining political myth of our era. And we've been talking a lot about Jeremy Corbyn on this show, and other Jimmy Dore and other people are talking about it. And for good reason, because we've been being told we got to go to the center. We got to go to the center. And all that has done is had America's politics have been completely dragged to the right. And that happened in the UK with Brexit. And you watch and hear some of the comments that Theresa May, the current prime minister of the UK, says after their, some of these horrifying terror attacks. And it's awful. She's like, said in an interview, well, if we got to suspend, personal freedoms and rules to, get these terrorists, then so be it. No, we've done that. Since 9/11, through George Bush and Obama, America has become a complete surveillance state. As is, read anything, watch Citizen4, anything from Snowden, anything from Julian Assange, look at what they're doing to us and look at how it's a constant state of war. And the UK is just a smaller version of what we're doing. They're out there bombing and making more profit over in the Middle East, and the BBC is part of their corporate media. And there's people in the UK that are fed up. And Jeremy Corbyn, look what he did. Everyone said, oh, he's going to be the death of the Labour Party. He's a wingnut. He's all the things they said about Bernie, crazy, socialist. There's more reason we cannot go to the center. So tell all your friends that are liberals here in America to wake up and stop going to the center. Stop giving in to the right. Stop making concessions, because what you're doing is then you're letting people like Kamala Harris, who is very good at making people think that she's a progressive and resist. And then behind the scenes, she gets money, just like Dianne Feinstein, just like all those corporate Democrats. And when anyone says pie in the sky, oh, Bernie's pie in the sky, say no. Anyone tries to blame, oh, Bernie, he's the reason Hillary lost. Really? Really? She ran a fucking shitty campaign. Was it his fault she didn't go to Wisconsin and Michigan and Ohio? She's lucky. She would have been crushed by triple digits if he would have abandoned the Democratic Party. He's the only thing keeping that fucking party with progressives. He's the only thing. Bernie Sanders is the only reason. So I'll go to some quotes from this article, but it's very, very important. And this is why we have to fight hard as progressives and peacefully resist anywhere we can. And don't let anybody drag you to the center. Just say, nope, I've done this. We did 8 years of Bush. 8 years of anyone but Bush. And then, oh, Obama's so great. And 8 years of liberals fucking sleeping. We can't do that anymore. So I'll read this. Here's this. Last week, after yet another week of anti-establishment upheavals in Europe, former Bush speechwriter and current Atlantic senior editor David Frum tweeted in despair. I think we need a word to describe people broadly satisfied with the status quo and skeptical of radical changes based on wild promises. See? They always make progressives crazy. Oh, you're out there nuts. Because they can't attack the policy. They either make you sound, oh, it's unreal. I mean, I like the ideas, but they're too pie in the sky. They're unrealistic. Or they do a personal smear campaign. Bernie bros are violent. Bernie hates women. Whatever their thing is. Jeremy Corbyn's a wingnut. They try to do all these things over there against Jeremy Corbyn because they can't attack the policy. Because the policy is just too strong. They know this. That's why they just go after anybody that comes across. Nina Turner says, people in Ohio and Flint, Michigan don't give a damn about Russia. They care about clean water and jobs. And then people on the left, oh, Nina Turner's a Kremlin puppet. Fuck you, you Democrat corporate assholes. So this is, and you're starting to see they're getting threatened. The corporate folks are getting threatened by progressives. Both parties are aware of all the people that have shown up at all their town hall meetings. They're aware of that shit. And they're waking up. Nancy Pelosi and Dianne Feinstein were not expecting people to call them out at their town hall meetings. They just thought everyone was going to show up and go, yeah, resist Trump. And they got called out. We're like, whoa, 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 easy. But let me read some other thing. Corbyn's strong showing came as a surprise to American readers who were told repeatedly that Britain's support for the unvarnished lefty would result in historic losses for liberalism. See how the American media was doing it? Was to tell all of us progressives, see, you're crazy, Bernie's a wingnut on an island. They tried that out in the UK and Corbyn got crushed. And then it's like, wait a minute. Theresa May called for this special election June 8th, and whoop, she didn't see this coming, now did she? She partnered up with a bunch of right-wing psychopaths in Northern Ireland, and guess what? It didn't work. We're done. Look at the reaction to all of these alt-right and these Klan people in America. Look at the reaction. Americans are just like, fuck that. And Trump people are like, wait a minute, I'm going to lose my health care? Corbyn was talking about nationalizing the trains, improving the national healthcare system, which has been slowly eroded by the corporate folks in the UK. Here's some more stuff. The status quo line on Corbyn followed a path identical to the propaganda here at home about liberal politics. Whenever Washington pundits in either party talk about the progressive base, you can count on two themes appearing in the coverage. One, that progressive voters make decisions based on their hearts, not their heads. Oh, remember that? Oh, you and I had this argument with a friend of mine. Oh, but the Bernie vote, after they lost the primary, they just fucking pouted and cried and didn't vote for Hillary. No, we didn't want to support a pro-war, pro-banking corporatist who, sells uranium to the Russians through her foundation. The second is that such voters consistently choose incorrectly when forced to choose between ideals and winning. There's the same thing, my friend, and so many people on the left said, oh, you Jill Stein voters, you ruined it. You just want to win? You just want to have a shit sandwich with lettuce on it versus just a shit sandwich and think I'm supposed to eat that? We want actual change. I don't want to eat any more shit sandwiches. I want to go, yes, things are better for everybody. That's what I want to see. The New York Times perfectly summed up this take a few days after the Corbyn result, describing the reaction of the American left. Democrats in split screen. The base wants it all. The party wants to win. Exactly. And that's said as the mainstream media and the pundits say that as a criticism. They don't even realize how crazy it sounds. The Democrats just want to win. If nothing changes and things don't get better, I don't give a shit. I'm tired of this team, my team, my team. This isn't sports. This is healthcare. This is a livable wage. This is having a nice, comfortable life versus a fucking horrible one. So, don't play into the corporate media's bullshit. All right? Don't pay into it. Don't pay into all their fucking money and their greed. Resist with being firm about progressive policy. When you argue the policy, it's so hard for them to beat you. When you just say policy and stick to the facts. It would be so much better with Hillary. Okay, we wouldn't attack Planned Parenthood. I'll give you that. Obama deported 2 million people, so we would be deporting people. She voted for the war in Iraq and increased bombing as Secretary of State under the Obama administration. She publicly said she supported Trump's bombing of Syria. We would be at war right now. Dakota Access Pipeline would be happening. Flint water would not be fixed. Last paragraph. If those of us in the media spent less time lecturing about the wisdom of the status quo and more time treating disaffected voters like the overwhelming majority that they are, we might at least stop face planting on our election predictions. Yeah, this is where liberal elitist comes from. You guys in New York and Washington and LA and whatever, and fucking getting sweet gigs with healthcare coverage, talking about all the burn bros or chair throwing lunatics, which they're not. That was proven to be a lie by MSNBC. We're not the center anymore, and we have to stop acting like we ever were. Thanks, Matt Taibbi, for making that kind of reporting. Now hold your other fucking journalist buddies accountable. Call them out. Call the American corporate media out. Rolling Stone seems like kind of a corporate publication, friend. So why don't you do the right thing and write more of these articles and put them out there and call them out. So thank you so much, Tim Stack, for sending this in. The Patreon link is below. If you subscribe at the $5 and up level, you get to suggest articles like this. You get the early podcast, and I'm going to start doing bonus content of the podcast. So $10 level, you get bonus video a week. And so thanks for watching, you guys. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Likes and subscribes helps YouTube's algorithm. The more likes and views a video gets, the more YouTube puts it out there, which brings in more people. And watch the ads all the way through in the beginning instead of hitting skip, because I get paid just from letting the ad run all the way through. Thanks for watching.